So welcome to our today's class. We can now get to the last part, which is on what we call the financial derivatives. So we talk about financial derivatives. Talk about what we call the financial derivatives. The financial derivatives. Talk about financial derivatives. We talk about the financial derivatives or derivative analysis. This is advanced financial management. We now talk about the derivative analysis. Simply the financial derivatives. Financial derivatives. Now, when we talk of financial derivatives, or generally from the word to derive, is where we get the word derivative. So we're talking about those financial instruments whose value is derived from an underlying what? Asset. And I talk of an underlying asset here, we are talking about another value of a given asset. So just write and say these are financial instrument. Derivatives are financial instrument. Derivatives are financial instrument whose value is derived. Whose value is derived from an underlying asset. An underlying asset. From an underlying asset. And talk of the economic functions of derivatives. Economic functions of derivatives. Economic functions of derivatives. Say, number one is to determine the prices. Determine prices. Determine prices. Number two, to transfer risk. To transfer risk. Number three, to check on market speculations. To check on market speculations. Number four, you can say to encourage entrepreneurial activities. To encourage entrepreneurial activities. And the last one is to encourage saving and investment. To encourage savings and investment. Encourage savings and investments. Now we can talk of the participants in derivative markets. Participants in derivative markets. The participants in the derivative markets. We begin with the agents. Agents. Hedgers. Now, for the hedgers are those that enter derivative market to minimize risk. This is from the word hedging. Hedging is a mechanism of reducing the price risk. And the hedgers here, they are concerned with what we call the savings. So you write and say, these are participants who enter derivative markets. These are participants who enter derivative markets. These are participants who enter derivative markets to minimize risk. To minimize risk. To minimize risk. Say, hedging is a mechanism. Say, hedging is a mechanism to reduce, mechanism to minimize or reduce the price risk. Minimize or reduce price risk. Reduce the price risk. Say, hedgers are concerned with savings. Hedgers are concerned with the savings. The second participants in derivative markets, we call them the speculators. Speculators. Say, these are participants who enter derivatives market. These are participants who enter derivatives markets. The participants who enter derivatives markets, who enter derivatives markets with the name of making profits, or in order to make profits. In order to make profits. In order to make profits. Say they are willing to accept. They are willing to accept the risk. They are willing to accept the risk. Willing to accept the risk. But there is the arbitrageurs. Arbitrageurs or arbitrageurs. Arbitrageurs. Arbitrageurs, you say, these are speculators who are interested. Speculators who are interested in short-term gains. Short-term gains by making profits out of the price fluctuations. By making profits out of price fluctuations. By making profits out of price fluctuations. Now, types of derivatives. Types of derivatives. Now, majorly there are 4 of them. We'll have the forward contracts. Number 2, we also have what we call the futures contracts. Futures contracts. Number 3, we have what we call the swap contracts. And number 4, we have what we call the options contracts. Option contract. Now, derivatives majorly they are classified into 2. They are what we call the forward commitments, and we have what we call the contingent claims. Now, under the category of the forward commitment is where we have these 3. The 1, 2, 3, the forward, the future, and what we call the swap contracts. Now, the reason why we talk of it as being a forward commitment is all of these, the price will be determined today, but the settlement and delivery of the contract will be happening in future on all these contracts, meaning that you are committing yourself in the future. And that is where the word forward commitment arises. Now, when we talk about the forward contracts here, in our case, we talk of them as what we call negotiated contracts. Negotiated contracts, we mean in this case, they are customized. Customized in what way? We mean that you can negotiate the price. What we mean is that here is not the government that will determine the price at which you'll be able to sell that contract. What we mean is the market forces, and that is why most of the forward contracts are traded under what we call the over-the-counter markets. Over-the-counter markets are those markets that are unregulated. Now, for this one, it is a legal agreement between two parties to execute a transaction in future where the price will be determined today. Now, one of the things that we realize is that here when we be talking about the contract, yes, the execution of the transactions is in the future. But now the determination of the price at which the contract will be executed will be as at the beginning, zote. But this one is a legal one. This one will be a customized what? Contract. It's one of the questions that I think it was in April 2023. You distinguish between a forward contract and what? The future contract. It was a 3A, somewhere there. So write and say, we begin with the forward contracts. Can begin with the forward contracts. Forward contracts, you say, begin with the forward contracts, and you say, forward contract, and you say, this is a customized contract. This is a customized contract between two parties, to buy or sell an asset, at a specified future time, at an agreed price or at a predetermined price. At a specified future time at a predetermined price. That is what we mean when we talk about forward contracts. Right, and say they are traded in over-the-counter markets. When you talk of over-the-counter markets, we are talking about unregulated markets. And talk about the future contracts, and you say, you write on the future contracts, and you say, this is a legal contract or legal agreement. This is a legal agreement between two parties. The legal agreement between two parties. The legal agreement between two parties. To buy or sell a security or an underlying. Buy or sell a security or an underlying security or an underlying at a predetermined price. A predetermined price at a specified date in future. At a specified date in future. At a specified date in future. Can I have a distinction between the two now? the futures contracts, here you can begin with the forward contracts, and you can also have this one as what? Future contracts. Forward contracts. This one is future contracts. Say for the forward, you say they are traded in over-the-counter markets. Traded in over-the-counter markets. On futures, you say they are traded in organized or formal markets. They are traded in organized or formal markets. Here we are talking about they are traded in what we call the future exchanges. The future exchanges. The future exchanges. The other one you say for the future, they are the forward, they are negotiated contracts. They are negotiated contracts. For the futures, you say they are standardized contracts. They are standardized contracts. They are standardized contracts. On the forward, you say there is no need of a third-party guarantor. On the forward, you say there is no need of a third-party guarantor. There is no need of a third-party guarantor. Third-party guarantor. In the other set of the future, you say there is a need of a third-party guarantor. A need of a third-party guarantor. On the forward, you say they are quoted in any other currency. They are quoted in any other currency. They are quoted in any other currency. For the futures, you say they are quoted in American terms. They are quoted in American terms. They are quoted in American terms. Also saying that on forward, the default risk is higher. The default risk is higher. The reason we say the default risk is higher is because they are not regulated. So they are not regulated. The default risk is higher. The other one, you say the default risk is lower. The default risk is lower. Someone is saying that the sound is breaking. So I've said that the default risk is higher in forward contract, and on the other side, the default risk is lower. The default risk is lower. Now let's go to the number 3 category. The type number 3 is what we call the swaps. The swap contracts. You say these is an arrangement between two parties. Is an arrangement between two parties to exchange assets or liabilities. To exchange assets or liabilities. To exchange assets or liabilities for the mutual benefits of each other. For the mutual benefits of each other. Say it is therefore an arrangement to exchange. Therefore, for the mutual benefit of each other. Said on the first one, I've said this. The arrangement is an arrangement between two parties to exchange assets or liabilities for the mutual benefits of each other. For the mutual benefits of each other. And you say, it is therefore an arrangement to exchange a stream of future payments concerning loan and interest. Stream of future payment concerning loans or interest. Last categories are what we call the options. Can talk about what we call the options. And you say options. Say this is a contract which gives the right but not an obligation to the buyer or seller. This is an contract that gives the right but not an obligation to the buyer or seller. Right, but not an obligation to the buyer or seller. To buy or sell and underline. To buy or sell and underline. To buy or sell and underline. At a specified future date. At a specified future date. At a specified future date. A specified future date. At a predetermined price. At a predetermined price. See, the fixed price at which the option holder, the fixed price at which the option holder can buy or sell the underlying, the fixed price at which the option holder can buy or sell the underlying is called the exercise price. It's called the exercise price or the strike price. The exercise price or the strike price. Or the strike price. Strike price. Strike price. Can talk of the concept of moneyness in an option. Concept of moneyness in an option. Concept of moneyness of an option. An option. Concept of moneyness of an option. Or before that, before I talk this, I've forgotten here. There are two types of options. Before we talk about that, and talk of the types of options. Now there are two of them. Number one is what we call the call option. Call option. Call option. Say this is a contract that gives the buyer. This is a contract that gives the rights but not obligation to the buyer. That gives a right but not an obligation to the buyer. Right but not an obligation to the buyer. The buyer to acquire a given number of securities. 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 You see, value of a call option is determined as follows. Value of a call option is determined as follows. This is the spot price. You minus the exercise price, then you compare with 0. Spot price is the market price per share. The X is the exercise or the strike price. When I talk of maximum, I mean ile kubwa between this minus this and 0. Hiyo ndo itakuwa the value of a what? Value of a call. Value of a call. Number 2 is what we call the put option. Put option. Number 2 is what we call the put option. Put option. Put option, you say this is a contract. This is a contract. This is a contract that gives a right but not an obligation. This is a contract that gives the right but not an obligation. That gives the right but not an obligation. Right but not an obligation. The right but not an obligation. But not an obligation to the seller. To the seller. To the seller. To the seller. Gives the right but not an obligation to the seller. The seller to sell securities. Sell securities at a predetermined price. At a predetermined price in the future. At a predetermined price in the future. A predetermined price in the future. In the future. Say the value of a put option. Value of a put option. Value of a put option is determined as follows. Is determined as follows. To be the maximum of. It is the maximum of the exercise price you minus the spot price. You compare with 0. Exercise price, you minus the spot price, compare with 0. Now we can talk of the concept of moneyness of an option. Moneyness. Concept of moneyness of an option, we can talk about that. Concept of moneyness of an option. You say moneyness refers to the relationship between the price of the underlying and the exercise price. Between the price of the underlying and the exercise price. Say, we use the term number one in the money. We use the term in the money. Number two, out of the money. And number three is at the money. Options. In the money, and out of money, and at the money. Those are the names that we use. I want to begin with in the money. In the money options. I'll begin with the first one. In the money options. In the money options. See? In the money options are those options that the money options are those options in which exercising the options would produce a cash inflow. Exceeding the cash outflow. Exceeding the cash outflow. Same. Costs are said to be in the money. When the value of the underlying, that is the spot price, and the value of the underlying, that is the spot price, exceeds the exercise price. So puts are said to be in the money. If the exercise price exceeds value of the underlying, if the exercise price exceeds the value of the underlying, say, out of the money options, Number two, the out of the money options. Say, are those options in which so money options are those options in which exercising the option exercising the options would produce exercising the option would produce cash inflows less than cash outflows. Cash inflows less than cash outflows. Less than cash outflows. So in the case of out of the money now, the cost will be out of the money if now the exercise price exceeds the spot what? Spot price. Now, at the money options, are those options in which exercising the options would produce cash inflows that are equal to cash outflows. Cash inflows that are equal to cash outflows. Cash inflows that are equal to cash outflows. That are equal to cash outflows. And have what we call the put call parity theory. And talk of the put call parity theory. Talk of put call parity. The put call parity theory. Put call parity theories. The put call parity theories, and you say this is a theory which links the market price of a call. This is a theory which links the market price of a call. The market price of a call and the market price of a put option. Market price of a put option and the market price of a put option. Market price of a put option. Market price of a put option. And therefore, it determines the price of a call and put. Therefore, it determines the price of a call. And therefore, it determines the price of a call and a put option. Price of a call and a put option. Price of a call and a put option. price of a call and put option. Now, this is what we say. If I use P, this is a put price. Put price plus the spot price should be equals to the value of the call, exercise price 1 plus R power T. 1 plus R power T. So that means if I want to get the value of a call, I'll get the put price, spot price. I will minus the exercise price, 1 plus R power what? T. When I talk of PO, this is a put price. When I talk of SO, is the spot price. When I talk of R, is the risk-free rate. Free rate. When I talk of the CO, is a call price. What else? This is the exercise price. Exercise price. That is an exercise price. That is the exercise price. So that means if I want to get the put, make it this the subject of the formula is a call exercise price plus 1 power T you minus the spot price. Minus the spot price. That is how we get the put price. That is how we get the put price. That is how we get the put price. To get the value of a synthetic bond, this should be PO plus SO minus the value of a call, minus the value of a call option, minus the value of a call option. Can I have an example? Can I have an example? Advanced financial management paper we do should be August 2023, question number 3C. August 2023, question 3C. August 2023, question number 3C. August 2023, we do question 3C. August 2023, question 3C. You are provided with the following information on put and call options on a stock. Given the call price, we have the put price, we have the exercise price, days to option expiration, current stock price, and we have the number of days in a year. Risk-free rate we've been given there as 5%. Using the put call parity, To read the price of a synthetic call option. Synthetic call option. This is the CO. And to get the CO should be given by the PO plus SO. Exercise 5 plus T. So this will be, T will be the expiration. The expiration will be 219 divided by 365. In 4 decimal place, how much is it giving you? 219, 365. I'm getting 0.6. And therefore, the food price was of how much? 2.75. Spot price. The current stock price is 33.19. You'll have the exercise price, which is 1.05 or 0.6. What will be the put price? Unapata ngapi? This is 6.8, 6.81, Roman 2. They want the synthetic put option. So put option, I now make it the subject of the formula to be that way. So it will be the call price. Call price here we were given how much? 6.64 minus the spot price, which is 33.19 plus 30. 1.05 or 0.6 that way. This is 2.58. The last one, they want the synthetic bond. Synthetic bond. On the synthetic bond, we've said to get the value should be PO, SO, CO. So it will be, the PO is how much? Put price is 2.75. SO is the current price, 33.19. Then 6.64. How much is it giving you? 2.75 plus 33.19, 6.64. Is 29.3. It is 29.3. Can talk of options pricing models. Can now talk of the options pricing model. Options pricing model. Option pricing models. Option pricing model. Option pricing model. Now we'll talk about two models here. There's one we call it the binomial model. And number two is a Black-Scholes Melton model. Black-Scholes-Melton model. So we begin with the binomial model. Can begin with the binomial model. Can begin with the binomial model. Say, on binomial model, you say on binomial model. This model is based on the assumption that there are only two prices, on the assumption that there are only two prices which will emerge. There are only two prices which will emerge at the expiration of the contract. Only two prices which will emerge at the expiration of the contract. Which will emerge at the expiration of the contract. Expiration of the contract. Now we can have here one period binomial model. Period binomial model. One period binomial model. One period binomial model. One period binomial model. Saying. This means that the underlying price, starts off at a given level, then moves forward to a new price, at which time the option expires. So it can be illustrated using a binomial tree as follows. Now, this is the spot price today. Here I'm talking of the value today. Value of a call. So this is, let me just use the word S. Now, when we talk of this is when the price goes up. So, which means for us to know the value of a call, it will be value of a call here plus C plus here will be the maximum of when the price goes up. You minus the exercise price, you compare with 0. So that this is when now the price goes down, meaning that our call option should be the maximum of S minus, you minus 0, then you compare with what? You compare with 0. Now, this is what I mean. If you want to get the value of a call option today, we'll get the risk neutral probability. The value of a call when the price goes up, you add 1 minus the risk neutral probability. C minus, this is the value of a call when the price goes down. Then you divide by 1 plus R. 1 plus R. Now, this is what we call in the risk neutral probability. What we call the risk neutral probability. And how do we get the risk neutral probability? It is normally given by 1 plus R minus D, U minus D. When I talk of U is the upward move. If the price moves upward, the upward move, this is the downward move. And this is what I mean. If I want to know S plus, this when price goes up is the upward move. The spot price, you multiply by the what? Upward move. If I want to get the S minus, it will be the SD. Downward move, meaning that here, if I want to get you when you are given this to be S plus, divide by the current spot price. If I want to, this is S minus, D is the S minus, divide by S. S minus divide by S. S minus divide by S. That is how we get that. So we can do an example. We can have an example. Want to go to the old past paper? The old past papers. That is from May 2015 there. And we do May 2015 question 3C. May 2015. May 2015 question number. Someone, my video is so behind. Is it to everyone or is just to Christine? May 2015. Can do question 3C. May 2015. We do question 3C. A share is currently selling 120. That is the spot price. S is 120. You've been given that there are two possible prices of the share after 1 year. That is 1, 2. This is when it goes up. That is 132. When it goes down, it is 105. We've been given that assume the risk-free rate is 9%. The R is 9 what? You are required. Value of a 1 year European option with an exercise price of how much? 120, 125. That is our exercise price. That is our exercise what? Price. Now, we want to know the value of our call today, which is the C. It should be given by the risk neutral probability. Value of our call when the price goes up. 1 minus the risk neutral probability. Value of our call when it goes down. Then 1 plus R. So what will be our C plus here? This is when the price goes up, which should be the maximum of the S plus minus the exercise price you compare with what? With 0. Where in this case it will be S plus is 132. Exercise price is 125. I compare with 0. The maximum there is what? 7. 132 minus 125, that is 7. If I compare 7 with 0, the maximum is what? 7. Right? Then we also need to know value when it goes down, C minus. It will be given by the maximum of spot price when it goes down. Exercise price I compare with what? With 0. Where this one will be given by, when it goes down, it will go to 105. So you minus 125, then you compare with 0. This will be negative. That means automatically 0 will be the maximum. And then from there now, we now get the risk neutral probability. Risk neutral probability should be given by 1 minus plus R minus D over U minus D. We don't have the upward movement. And upward movement, which is U, should be S plus U divided by S. Which here it will be how much? S goes to 132 divided by 125. Not 125, but 1 what? Current price is 120. How much is it given you? 132 divided by 120. This is a 1.1. D should be S minus over S. This is 105 divided by 120. Should be how much? 105 divided by 120. 0.875. So our risk neutral probability will be 0.09 minus 0.875. I will divide by U is 1.1, 0.875. Takupea ngapi? This is 0.9, 0.96. And therefore, our value of our call will be 0.96. C plus is 7 plus 1 minus 0.96. C minus is 0. Then 1 plus R, 0.09. How much is it giving you? $6.1 what? This is 6.17. And that is the value of a call today. That is the value of a call today. The value of a call today. That is the value of a call today. Can also do one more other question in the same. Can also check on December 2014. I mean, not December, but May 2014, question 4D. May 2014, question 4D. Stock currently sells for shillings 36. In the next 6 months, the stock will be increase to 42. Simon, the formulas are not provided. You will not be given this formula if they give you the question, so you rather get them. You rather get them. May 2014, I've said question 40 on the paper that we are still doing. On the paper that we are still doing, May 2014, 4D. A stock currently sells for 36. In the next 6 months, the stock will either increase to 42 or decrease to 31. The risk-free rate is 4% per year. You have to calculate the current price of the call option on the above stock. If the terms to expiration is 6 months and the stock price is 3.5. So the current price of this is how much? It is currently selling for 36. Price when it goes up, it may go up to 42. Price when it goes down, may go down to 31. Exercise price we've been given there, it is 35. They want the market price of the call to be the risk neutral probability C plus 1 minus the risk neutral probability C minus 1 plus R. 1 plus R. So in this case, I will have the C plus is the maximum of the spot price. When it goes up, you minus the exercise price, you compare with 0. This will be given by spot price when it goes up is 42. Exercise price is 35, compare with 0. This will be 7. The one is C minus is the maximum. Price when it goes down, minus the spot price, you compare with 0. This is 31 minus 35, compare with 0. 0 will be the maximum. Then we get a risk neutral probability 1 plus R minus du minus d. So d will be s minus over s there. S minus is 31 divided by 36 to be how much? 31 divided by 36. This is 0.861. U will be S plus divided by S. 42 divided by 36 to be how much? 1.1. Let me have this is 16. This will be 1.17. So this will be 1 plus R is how much? 0. What? 0.04. U minus D is 0.86 divided by U 1.17, 0.86. So 1 plus 0.4 minus 0.86, 1.17 minus 0.0 minus 0.86. So this is 0.58. Therefore, value of our call today will be given by 0.58 times 7. You add 1 minus 0.58, 0, 1 plus 0.04 to be equals to how much? 3.9. That is what will be the value of a call today. Value of a call today. December 2021. Our expiration is 6 months. So what we'll consider is this, the rate in 6 months, 0.04. You multiply by 6 over 12. So this will be 0.02. Since the rate was 1 year, use 0.02. It is 3.9, 3.98. December 2021, question 1C. December 2021, question 1C. XYZ Limited shares are currently selling at 10. That is our spot price. Given that the price will increase by 5%. That means our U here will be 1.05%. So, yeah, if it increases by 5%, it will be that. And then we've also been told that it decreases by 5%. This will be 0. I've said this is 1 plus the 5%. Let me just write that, which is 1.05. This is 1 minus 0.05. This is 0.995. Risk-free rate of return is 6%. R will be given 6%. Exercise price, which is a strike price, is also 10. The option can be exercised in 6 months. So this one I will multiply by 6/12. They give you how much? What will be our R? It will be 3%. So you are required. Determine the value of a put option. This is now on the put what? Put option. Now the value of a put option should be given by the risk neutral probability. Value of a put when price goes up. You add 1 minus the risk neutral probability. Value of a put when price goes down. 1 plus what? 1 plus R. So how do I get the put here? Now for the put, we know to get the value it has to start with what? Exercise price. So it is exercise price S plus, then you compare with 0. We don't know S plus. So I'll begin with getting S plus, which is SU. S is 10, you multiply by 1.05. Nakupea ngapi? 10, 1.05 is 10.5. S minus here should be SD. So it's 10, 0.95. This should be 9.5. Therefore, our P plus will be maximum of S, which was 10 minus 10.5. You compare with 0. This will be 0. What about P minus? To be the maximum of X, S minus, compare with 0. So this will be the X price is 10, 9.5 compare with 0, which is how much? 0.5. Therefore, now what we don't know is the risk neutral probability to be 1 plus R minus D, U minus D. So 1 plus R is 0.03 minus what? 0.95 divided by 1.05 minus 0.9. Kupea ngapi? .8. So this will be the value of a put. 0.8 you multiply by the price goes up 0. 1 minus 0.8. Price goes down 0.5. I divide by 1 plus 0.03. How much is it giving you? 0.098. That is how it gives you the value. That is how it gives you the value. Now, there is also the two-period binomial model. Kama hii mmelia hii nayo sitakuwa gumu. If I get to the two-period binomial model, binomial the two-period binomial model, this is what I mean. This will be now the S plus C plus. This is S, this is S minus C minus. Then we'll have that. Here we are talking about S plus plus, which here we need to have the C plus plus will be the maximum of S plus plus minus X compared with 0. Here it will be S plus minus, meaning that here what we need is C plus minus, which will be equals to maximum of S plus minus C minus minus, niandike tu hapa C plus plus will be the maximum of S plus plus you minus X compared with 0. C plus minus will be the maximum of S plus minus equal minus 0, that way. And then we'll have the C minus minus maximum of S minus minus, you minus exercise price, you compare with what? With 0. So that if I want to get the value of a call here, C plus will be the risk neutral probability. C plus plus 1 minus the risk neutral probability C plus minus 1 plus R. So that C minus will be risk neutral probability C plus minus 1 minus risk neutral probability C minus minus over 1 plus R. So that the value of our call today will be X C plus 1 minus X, the risk neutral probability C minus 1 plus R. 1 plus R. One plus R. April 2023, question 2B. April 2023 to be. John is December 2021. Don't use a file or paper. Use the other paper before April 2022. Now we can also do that one. We check, consider a two-period binomial model in which a share currently trades for 65. And the share can go up 20%, go down 17% each year. The risk-free rate is 5%. You are to determine this is the price of a put option expiring 2 periods with an exercise price of how much? Now, this is in the case of a put. In case of a put, we know we have to start with the exercise what? Price. So we want to know the value of our put today. To get the value of our put today should be the risk-free the risk neutral probability, P plus. You add 1 minus risk neutral probability, P minus 1 plus R. So that the first thing that we do, we need to know this P plus. Since it is a 2-period probability, P plus tutaipata through these two. So these two, I mean, I'll get it by taking the value of a put when it goes up twice. Ikiweka plus imemaanisha you are going to upward move mara mbili, plus 1 minus risk neutral probability, P plus and minus, plus and minus, that way. So that you divide by 1 plus R. Now, I need this P plus plus. It will be given by the maximum of, here we are talking about the put, and we have to begin with put price, S plus plus. You compare with what? 0. S plus plus is simply, is just SU squared. So, SU squared or SUU. What is our U? It is going up by how much? 20%. It will be 1.2. Then D, 17. 1 minus 0.17. That is 0.8. 83. So this will be 1. The spot price currently is how much? To be 65. You multiply by 1.12. 1.12. Nakupea ngapi? This will be 93.6. So our P plus plus will be exercise price tulimpewa ngapi? 16 on the question, 93.6 compare with 0. That will be 0. We'll also need the P plus minus, which should be the maximum of exercise price, S plus minus. So S plus minus is SUD. So it will be 65, 1.2, 0.8, 83. 65 times 1.2 times 0.83, This is 64.74. So my P plus minus will be, exercise price is 64.74. You compare with 0. This will be automatically 0. And that means in this case, there is no need of looking for P plus, because automatically these ones zote zitakupea what? 0. See, hii ni 0 na hii ni 0. If I multiply, P plus will be what? 0. Sawa. And then from there we'll also need P minus. P minus will be given by the risk neutral probability, P plus minus. You add 1 minus the risk neutral probability, P minus minus. You divide by 1 plus R that way. So this will be, we know P plus minus here. Already we know it is 0. All I need is the P minus minus. P minus minus will be given by the maximum of S minus minus, exercise price, sorry. S minus minus you compare with what? 0. And S minus minus is SD squared, or the SD. So this will be 65, 0.83 times 0.83. Give you how much? Squared. This will be 44.77. And therefore, 7/8. Therefore, our P minus minus will be the maximum of, this is exercise price is 60, 44.78 compare with 0. So 60 minus 44.78, this will be 15.22. And now that we have P minus, what is remaining is just the what? The risk neutral probability. So risk neutral probability, which is our U. Oh, this is P minus minus. Sorry. So I'm remaining with the risk neutral probability. This one, which is 1 plus R minus B. U minus what? So 1 R is how much? 0.0 minus E 0.83. 1.2 minus 0.83. Itakupea how much into decimal places? 0.5. So our P minus will be 0.59. You multiply here is 0 plus 1 minus 0.59. P minus minus is what we've gotten here is 15.22 divide by 1.05. So 15.22, 1 minus 0.59 divide by 1.05. I'm getting 5.9094. And with that, now we can get the value of our put today. Yeah, it will be the risk neutral probability 0.59. P plus, I've said it is 0 plus 1 minus 0.59. P minus 5.94. Then you divide by 1.05. How much is the value of output today? So 1 minus 0.59 times 5.94 is then you divide by 1.05. This is 2.3. That is how you are required to do that one. So we'll just end at that point. We'll come do on what we call the Black-Scholes cost model, and then the real options, and we'll get now to the financial markets. So we meet on Monday, we finalize on the same. Simon. It is simply we are reducing the values. I don't know any other way that is much easier than that. But you can just read on the same. Was the last question they tested was this one, April 2023. Probably when I say you release at this time, you never know. So we will continue from there.